Hey guys, it's Hannah. I just got back from study abroad. Before I left, I made a video sort of talking about my expectations, my fears, and what I was looking forward to in studying abroad, and so now I want to like talk back to my old self from 4 months ago, talk about what study abroad was actually like, so let's get into it. I tried to start this video and my cat started coughing up a hairball, so hopefully she's okay now. Hi, my name is Hannah. Welcome back to the channel. Today is February 3rd, 2024, and today is the day that I leave to study abroad in France for a semester. Today is June 6th, 2024, and I got back from France on June 1st. I leave for the airport in about an hour, so let's get into it. So the normal living situation is just like a dorm room, a double or a triple I think, with the communal bathrooms and no AC, and I paid extra to be in a double with a private bathroom with AC, so I think it's like a separate building. I emailed the resident director about it and she said that they were like connected, like just 5 minutes apart. But the thing is, somebody else in the program paid extra for a single, but nobody paid extra for the double besides me, which means that I'm alone in my double, which I'm thinking could be kind of nice. Like there's pros and cons, right? Like the pros are that I get my own room, which I love that. I love having my own space to come back to at night, and having my own bathroom to myself is like insane, and for the price of a double instead of having to pay for the single. The cons are that the social aspect of having a roommate and like making that friend right away, gonna miss that a little bit, so I'll just have to work a little bit harder to make friends because a lot of the other people in the program I feel like are gonna be in the other building that's 5 minutes away that's connected, I guess, that doesn't have AC and has the communal bathrooms, so hopefully I made a good decision. I really like having my own space, and to me like the private bathroom is worth it, but everybody else is gonna be like living somewhere else, so I just hope I don't feel like isolated. So the first thing that I talked about was living situation. It's funny because I did get a little bit of a surprise when I arrived. Somebody else had upgraded to the double room like the day before I arrived and no one had told me, so I did actually end up with a roommate that first night, and then she actually ended up upgrading to a single, so then I did end up getting my double room to myself for the majority of the time that I was there. AIFS, which is the study abroad program that I did, has a month-long program in May, so a few extra students arrived just for 4 weeks, and one of them also did end up being my roommate. So for the first night that I was in France, I had a roommate, and for 4 weeks in May, I had a roommate. Other than that though, I got my own room, and yes, it was sort of a different building from the other ones, and let me tell you, it was so worth it. I did not feel left out or isolated at all, but I had so many more perks because the other building was so old and they had so many problems just with things breaking and the water not working or being too cold. For the last like week, there was no hot water in their shower, and I felt so bad for them. I had my own private shower that always worked, that always got hot right away. I had my heated towel rack, which was so awesome. I would like hand wash my laundry in the sink and then dry it on my heated towel rack. So worth it to get the other building with the AC. Like I didn't have to sleep with my window open when it got hot and then letting all the bugs in. And, like all the issues that were in the other building I didn't have, and I had my own room, which was awesome for me, and I was still able to make friends really easily. So yeah, living situation I would say was pretty good for me, but that is because I upgraded to the better building. It was always quiet for the most part. It was nice. It was a good situation. The campus is supposed to be very, very close to the beach, but when we're getting there, it's not beach weather. I've lived in California for a year now, so I know. I'm a sophomore at Chapman, by the way. So I know that just because there's a beach nearby does not mean that you go to it all the time. At Chapman though, you'd have to drive to the beach. Here it seems like you can walk to the beach. Like they're literally right next to the beach. I feel like I have a little bit of an advantage in terms of my expectations because I went to the study abroad program in Nice last summer, spent 3 weeks there. I know that we went to school and then went straight to the beach every day, but that was during the summer. That was in June, so it was much warmer. So I know like the weather in France right now, I'm going to Cannes in the south of France. The weather there is very similar, it seems like, to Southern California right now in winter. So I know that like it's sweater weather, it's not beach weather right now. I don't know when exactly it'll get warm enough to go to the beach, but I hope that we do go when it does get warm and sunny. The school was right next to the beach, like school, a road that runs right all along the beach, and then beach. It would take me like 3 minutes to get from my room, my dorm, to the beach. Some people did go in the beginning, like in February. They would do like polar plunges at sunset or whatever, which is cute, but it was cold. It was cold for like the first 3 months that we were there. We did start going to the beach quite a bit over the last month. Like I've been to the beach quite a bit over the last month, which was really, really awesome. It was beautiful. Ugh, I miss it so much already. I hope I go to the markets a lot, but at the same time, I don't think we have like a kitchen. Like there's a communal kitchen, but I don't know how much I'll use it because I just remember having a communal kitchen at Nomo freshman year and like nobody could use it because it was just like complicated. The other thing about this is like laundry costs €5 every time you want to do laundry, which is annoying, but it is what it is. Yeah, I hope I go to the markets, but I don't know how much I'll really be able to buy there because I won't have anywhere to like store what I buy. Even if I get like berries, I don't have a refrigerator to put them in unless we really do use the communal kitchen that much. I don't have like utensils or pots or pans to cook with. If I need to make a meal in the kitchen, it'll probably have to be like microwavable. The markets were awesome and I did go as much as I could, but I wasn't really in Cannes over the weekend very often, especially for the first 3 months. So that's sort of like the only time that I could go to the markets because otherwise by the time we got out of class and then got out of lunch, they would be closed. As for the communal kitchen, I really didn't use it very much. It did come fully stocked, so like it had pots and pans and things like that, but it was only like 1 burner and then like a microwave and a fridge. And there was no oven and it was very, very dirty. Imagine 30-40 people are sharing this tiny little kitchen. I used it a little bit in the first few weeks and then just stopped. And then at some point they ran out of dish soap and it's like, whose responsibility is it to replace it? How are any of these dishes getting cleaned? Like people are just rinsing them. That's when I stopped going to the communal kitchen and had to get creative about what I got for dinner. That ended up being kind of a difficult thing every night to figure out what to eat for dinner because it's too expensive really to go out every single night and sometimes you just don't feel like walking all the way to town. As to the markets, like when I would go to markets I would get strawberries and just eat all of them right there, or I also got a lot of other things at markets. Like I got a little blue dress at the open air market in Antibes just last week. 2 weeks ago. I got rings at a market in Paris. I got a jacket at the market in Aix-en-Provence. You get other things at markets too. So the markets in France are really fun. I'd totally recommend going if you're going to visit France. As for like buying my food or groceries at the market, I did not do that. I hope that I keep making a lot of YouTube videos while I'm there. I've been filming like my packing video. Hopefully I just find time to edit. I want to have a lot of like videos to look back on of this experience. For videos, I did video quite a bit. I still wish I'd taken even more video, but I filled up like an entire SD card and probably more than half of this SD card. So yeah, there's a lot of footage for me to be editing this summer. So I'm really grateful for that. And especially the last week I brought my camera out a lot more just because I was like, shoot, like I need more video. My understanding is that there's an orientation like on Monday, like our first day. Hopefully I'll meet people there. Some of the people from Chapman already know each other, so that's sort of like intimidating that I don't know any of them. Chapman is like the majority of the AIFS students going, so at least we have the advantage of already sort of knowing each other, even though like some of them are like friends or have been in class together. At least I know who they are. We're in a group chat together. Like I have that advantage versus like the people who are coming alone from their own university that are literally not going to know anyone. Hopefully I can make friends easily and hopefully everyone's really nice and nobody gets like cliquey or annoying or catty or like rude. That's the one thing that I think I'm fearing. It's just because it's such a small group and I know what it's like to be in a smaller environment like that. So it can get very like claustrophobic if the people there aren't good, you know? I feel like going to study abroad is sort of like going to college for the first time. When you're like a senior in high school or when you're like right about to go into your freshman year of college, you don't know anyone, but like you know you're going to meet people and you do. Yes, a good chunk of the program was from Chapman, which I think did help because we just had things to talk about that we had in common. But for the most part, nobody knew anybody and it was pretty easy to make friends because like you live together, you see each other every day, you see each other in class every day, you start planning trips together even though you don't really know each other. Like there were about 24 of us and we were blessed with having a really good group. Everyone for the most part just got along and we all felt like one big family because we were all going through this experience together. Like even if someone had beef with someone else, like we're all in this together. We're all here for this fun study abroad experience and I feel like we were able to hold on to that. It didn't get super cliquey, I would say. We sort of roughly split into 2 groups of friends, but like it was roughly split, you know what I mean? Like we were all still friends with each other. It's just people who had more things in common talked to smaller groups of friends and in the end like we were all so close and like sobbing, saying goodbye to each other It was really sad to say goodbye to all of them. I feel like that just proves like how good of friends I made, is that I was so sad to say goodbye to them. I'm so lucky that I go to Chapman and that like I'm going to be able to see some of them at Chapman, and I'm so sad for the ones that don't go to Chapman that I don't know when I'm going to see them again. But honestly, like, those people are my family, and I'm so happy that I was able to make such good friends. I would say like that sense of family didn't come, for me at least, until like 3 months in, because it just takes me a while to like get used to new people and like really feel like we're genuine friends. But yeah, by like that last month or so, I was like, wow, these people are awesome. I love that I just see these people every day because they're just around. Like, we live together, we're all in France together. Like, this is just such a unique experience that we're all here at the same time together, and we're never gonna all be here at the same time again together, like at this age, like being so young, and it was just so awesome. Anyway, so yes, I did make friends. For classes, I recently discovered that you have to get into the upper intermediate French class in order to take the seminars that are taught in French, which are the only ones that count for the French minor, and that's like the whole purpose that I'm going on this study abroad. So I have to get into the upper intermediate. It's B1, which I am technically a B1, so I should get in, but it's also like, what if I don't? Because the placement test was like low-key hard, but they still have to do the speaking test when we get there to further decide where we go, so I don't know how that's gonna go. Hopefully that goes good. The classes that are taught in French are the only ones that I got approved through Chapman, so like I have to take those. I think I'm good enough at French to understand the classes. I just need to convince them that I'm good enough to be in the upper intermediate French language course. Hopefully that goes well. As for like grades and like how hard they're gonna be, I don't know if this is bad, but my expectations are kind of like low. Like, just because of what happened last summer, there was no homework. Like, those classes were so easy, but we were only there for 3 weeks, and they knew that. We were only taking 1 class. So this is gonna be that times 3, I guess. The seminars are only once a week for like 4 hours, which is a long time. So I don't know how that's gonna go. Hopefully I get into 2 seminars that I really enjoy. And this, I feel like, is an international school with a bunch of study abroad students versus like a university with French students in it. It's just an international language school for the most part, so I feel like it can't be that serious or academically rigorous. But hopefully I'm not totally underestimating it, because that would be sad. So for classes, there was no speaking test. They just put us all in different classes, and a lot of people moved around after that first day. I started in the A2 class, moved up to B1 the next day, because I was like, this is too easy, and that's where I stayed for the entire semester. At the end, she gave us like pieces of paper with like our the level that she was giving us. Like, what I needed for Chapman I think was B1.2, but she gave me B2, so that's like what I got to by the end of the semester was B2. The classes were honestly like no sweat. There was no homework. It wasn't that deep. Like, they'll give you whatever you need for credit from your university, basically. It was really French theater and French cinema that really were something else. Cinema I honestly didn't mind. Like, it was fun most of the time. Theater was questionable. Like, the first couple of weeks it was fun, and then she gave us the script and wanted us to like memorize it, but it was all in French, and we were all like, this is difficult actually. And then there were like small pieces of homework, and we were just being really dramatic because no other class, like, we didn't get any other piece of homework except for in theater, so we complained about that. I think we just started doing a lot of activities, and it was poorly explained to us why we were doing these activities, what the context of them were, so then we just felt like we were doing busy work and we were confused. So that kind of got a little messy at the end, but luckily the seminars only lasted for the 3 months, not the whole 4 months. So for the last month I only had French language in the mornings, and we didn't go to class during the festival anyway, so we were supposed to take a test once a month, and I think we did, sort of, so maybe we had 4 tests. I feel like we had 3, I can't remember. The first one, she was like, oh, it's like a small test, like, it's not a big deal. We spent the whole 3 hours though of our morning class taking that test. We were like, whoa, this is like a long test. Like, this is a lot of testing. We weren't really prepared for that. So the second test we really studied, and then it was way easier anyway. And then the third test was like basically nothing. It's like you don't know what your grade is. Sometimes they would tell you, but it's like out of 20, because it's like the European scales. There were no tests or anything in the seminars, but 4 hours of class for the seminar was rough. Every time. The meal plan only covers like breakfast and lunch basically, and then brunch on the weekends, which means every day I have to figure out dinner on my own. Like, I would be excited to just go to different restaurants and try different foods there and like eat where the locals eat and stuff like that, except for the fact that that's expensive. I don't want to feel like I'm bleeding all of my money out onto dinner every night when I want to spend money on like clothes and cute like art and souvenir, like just buying stuff, like thrifting and stuff like that I can bring home. Like I don't want to be spending so much money on food that's just overpriced. Hopefully I find just like a cheap place where I can get a meal that I can do for dinner that everyone else also wants to do for dinner, so I don't have to go alone. I don't know what the others' budgets are going to be, whether they're going to be like, oh, let's go out every night, or whether it's going to be like, no, let's get a sandwich and call it a day. The thing about the boulangeries is that they're usually closed by dinner, so you can't really like depend on that for dinner. So I have no idea what I'm going to eat for dinner every day. Honestly, I'm just gonna try to make dinner as affordable as possible. Okay, I did already talk about dinner a bit, but yeah, basically every night I had no idea what I was gonna eat for dinner. Half the time I would like steal a baguette from lunch, and because you weren't supposed to take food out of the cafeteria at lunch, but I would take it anyway, and I would eat that for dinner with like peanut butter and like snacks that I'd bought at the grocery store that I was hiding in my room, because you're also not supposed to have food in your room at all. So that was pretty annoying. I mean, I did eat out a decent amount though too. Like we found places over time that were affordable and yummy and good. If you want my recommendations, let me know, because I know where all the affordable yummy food is in Cannes now. I've been packing all week. So yesterday, packing wasn't like super stressful because I didn't even have that much more to do. I've never been like so fully packed an hour and a half before I have to leave to the airport. So the only thing I stressed about is the shoes, dude. I've been stressing about shoes all week. So 3 out of the 4 pairs of shoes I'm bringing are brand new. Is that a good decision? Like, on the surface level, it doesn't seem like it.
But part of it's because I had to get a new pair of shoes for the internship because I needed professional shoes that I could walk in, so I got loafers. I got a new pair of shoes to replace, then I got black boots. These are the things that are going to make me crazy. But they're so cute, and I just hope that they work out. I just hope that they're comfortable.
I'm listening to myself in 2 times speed right now, and it's just so funny. Okay, so basically, I was so stressed about the shoes. I'm so glad that I brought every single pair of the shoes that I brought. They were all perfect. It was all perfect. The boots, so glad I brought the boots. What else would I have gone out in? They were comfortable. I love my black boots now. I can't believe that I didn't own black boots before. The loafers are perfect for the internship, and the other walking shoes I basically wore just like every day. And I wear the sandals when it got warm. Everything that I planned worked perfectly in terms of shoes. Other than that, like the fact that I'm moving to France, I feel so unfazed for some reason. And it might just be because I've been preparing, like mentally, I've known this is gonna happen for a year in advance. So all of the excitement of it probably passed like when I first submitted my application and like when I first decided to go. Ever since then, it's just been like, I know I'm going. Like I knew this was gonna happen and there's no surprise. Like I am excited. I'm very excited. I don't like feel super excited. Maybe it just hasn't hit yet. Like I feel like it's not gonna hit until I look out the window of the plane and see the Mediterranean, because I feel like that's when it hit last summer, where I was like, whoa, I'm in the south of France right now. Right now it doesn't even feel real because I'm just sitting in Illinois. As for loneliness, hopefully like I'm not too worried about it as long as I make friends, because going to college the first time, I was not lonely like at all. I didn't really feel homesick at all until right before Thanksgiving break, because you can like, you know in your mind you're going home next week. So that's when you're like, oh my gosh, I miss home. But I was having so much fun my first semester of college that I didn't really feel like homesick or anything. So hopefully that's what study abroad is like. It is a long time. It's 4 months, my longest time away from home. But after spending so much time in California and whatnot, like hopefully that helps me adjust a little bit, because I've already adjusted to moving across the country and now I'm just moving across the world. Like I feel like that is partially making this easier, is the fact that I moved so far for college. I've already done like the leaving everyone and everything behind in like a more permanent way, in the sense that I can't just drive home for the weekend. But this is like 4 solid months. There's no like break. There's a spring break, but I'm gonna stay in Europe and travel. But it's also only 4 months. It's such a short time, and I'll be back here on June 1st. It's only 4 months. Okay, homesickness and loneliness, I really didn't feel it. I didn't really feel lonely because there was always people around, but on occasion like the homesickness hits for a second and you're like, dang. But honestly, for the most part, I just tried to like live in the moment. I think I went into it being like, this is so temporary. It really just depends on how you frame it in your mind. Like you can think of 4 months as a really long time, but for me 4 months was so short. Like in the span of my whole life, 4 months is so short. And I knew that I was coming home on June 1st, and I knew that I was going to be sad to come home, and I was, because I knew that it was going to be such a good experience in the end. So I just tried to keep that in perspective. Like in the middle months, when you're sort of just deep in the middle of it, you just got to keep it in perspective. And honestly, like I was so busy traveling every weekend, making new friends, like you keep yourself so busy that you don't really think about home anyway. There are moments where you just sort of miss the food I would say. The American food and just having the freedom to eat whatever I wanted, because we had breakfast and lunch in the cafeteria, and I definitely missed like my tea. When my mom brought me like a bunch of honey and tea over spring break, it was awesome. Like some stuff you just gotta bring with you from home. But other than that, like I do think that going to California for college really helped, because I knew how to just not really be homesick, because I had the perspective of like, I'm going back home June 1st anyway, like it'll still be there. But right now I have to enjoy my time in France. Like, you just put it in perspective, I don't know. Okay, so we have an internship at the Cannes Film Market. Maybe when I'm there I'm gonna start pronouncing Cannes differently, but I'm doing the best I can. I've heard so many different French people pronounce it differently, like actual French people who should know how to pronounce it. I've heard different ones pronounce it differently. So I had to pack internship clothes, which is annoying, like professional clothing, because that took up more space. So for expectations for that, I literally don't know. I think it's gonna be hot outside. It's gonna be a lot of work. I think it's gonna be very little sleep. I don't know how it works with school. They're like, oh, like they know, like they do this every year. They know that you're going on an internship, but I don't know how it's actually gonna work in real life. My biggest thing is just like, I want to be able to put myself out there because I have nothing to lose, and sort of have like a little elevator pitch prepared of like how to network with people, just like meeting as many people as I possibly can and just talking to them about my career goals and trying to make connections with people. Like I want to network as much as possible, which is not my strong suit. Like making small talk, which is what networking feels like to me, is like so annoying to me. So I just have to like have no fear and just put myself out there and have like make the most of the experience, because it's such a cool opportunity to be able to intern there. Like that is so cool. When am I ever gonna get the chance to do that again? Who gets the chance to go to the Cannes Film Festival as a film student, as a 20-year-old? You have to be invited to go. Like the fact that I'm just able to go because I'm doing this study abroad program is so cool. I hope I get placed with a good company. We submitted like our top 3 choices. They gave us the list of companies. We gave them what we wanted as our top 3 choices, but there's no guarantee. So I just hope that I get a good company that like actually makes connections with me and like find people there that I can stay in touch with even afterwards, so I can build that network with them. I just hope they have me doing like cool, like fun jobs. I know it's gonna be, I'm an intern, it's gonna be like tedious, but I hope it's jobs where I can at least like talk to people and I'm not like in the back like just filing or whatever. I hope I get to like walk around and like see everything. Getting to go to a screening would be cool. Getting to go on the red carpet would be even cooler, but there's no guarantee of that. I could probably make a whole video talking about this, but for now I'll just go fast. I did get placed with one of my top 3 companies. I didn't network as much as I thought I would, because you're working all day, and honestly you just get the sense that like I have nothing to offer these people. Like I don't have a credit to my name. I have very little skills. I'm still in school. Like I talked to people, but it's not like networking in the sense that I've made a bunch of lasting connections. The only lasting connection I made was with the company that I was working for, which is really good. I had a good experience working for them. Sometimes it would just be a long time of not really doing much, but I was really in it. Like I could listen into basically all of their meetings where they were selling films. I applied on my own to get the cinephile badge, and that was awesome because they didn't give me a badge or any tickets. Luckily I got the badge and I was able to get my own tickets for things. I was able to go on the red carpet, but that was only because one of my friends gave me a ticket. Like I would not have been able to get that ticket myself, because tickets were so hard to get this year. I mean, they're always hard to get, but they were especially hard to get this year is my understanding. That was awesome. I was able to go to like 7 different movies. 3 of them were in competition. It was cool. It was very cool. It was really awesome. And luckily I made lasting connections with the company that I worked for, and I'm actually going to continue interning for them remotely all summer. I will say that the internship I think was less rigorous than I thought it was going to be. Like I thought, like I said, like, oh, I think there will be like no sleep. I think it'll be just all day. I was working from 9:30 to 6 every day, and then I would just go home and eat dinner and go to sleep. Like it really wasn't that crazy. Like it wasn't like I was working really hard all day doing something all the time. Like a lot of the time I was just sitting there waiting for the next meeting to show up or something like that. It was fine. I thought I was gonna be so like dead by the end, and I was pretty exhausted. Like you still have to be like present and at it, and like it's still a lot of energy. And then I was going to screenings and stuff, but it wasn't as crazy as I thought it was going to be. Right now I'm at 102 subscribers, which is pretty much what it's been at for a long time. like probably over a year. I can't really say that I have like a growth goal because it seems so stagnant. Like I don't get new subscribers very often. But I guess I just hope that I've posted, if I say like a video a month, is that like too ambitious? Even if the video a month isn't posted by the time I get back, like I hope I have, excluding this video and the preparing video, 4 more videos, like vlogs of my time there. So in total, like sort of 6 study abroad related videos. I did 4 for Nice, which was only 3 weeks. So honestly, I should be able to do more of that. It's just whether I have time and how much I really want to carry around this camera everywhere. I didn't post a single YouTube video there because I didn't have time to edit, but I did film a lot, and I totally think that 6 videos or more will be totally feasible. I'm not going to compare the subscribers because I haven't posted anything. I'm at 103 right now, so I gained 1 in the 4 months where I wasn't posting anything. I hope that I make friends that are more than just like acquaintances or friends by proximity, and people that like we actually invest in the friendship and become like legit friends that I keep in touch with for like the rest of college. It's a pretty small program, so I kind of want to be like sort of friends with everyone, but I know that there will probably be people, like the first person I meet in orientation, that's going to be like my closer friend. But it's such a small program that I hope we all just hang out a lot instead of getting really cliquey and like not hanging out with anyone except for the people that we like already know. I hope the Chapman group like isn't just a clique. Okay, in terms of keeping in touch with people from the program, that still sort of feels like an unanswered question. Like it's been 5 days. Like I've kept in touch with them so far, but it's been like 5 days. I still don't know how much we're really going to be able to keep in touch. Like ask me at the end of the summer, ask me in a year, you know? I really do hope that we stay in touch. We've like made plans and been like, oh, I'm going to visit you like next summer, whatever. Like I love the friends that I made there so much, and hopefully the ones that I see at Chapman like will actually hang out and stuff, because in France it was so easy. Like I just saw them every day. It was so convenient. And now going back to Chapman, I actually have to like be like, hey, let's make plans, you know? But I really hope that we do, because I really value the friendships that I made there. In terms of keeping in touch with friends from home, I think I'm gonna have a different phone number because I'm gonna get a SIM card, so it'll mostly have to be through Snapchat, which is fine. I think that I'm pretty good at keeping in touch with my friends from home. Friends from home in Illinois and friends from college too. So that'll be different, is keeping in touch with friends from college, because I won't be there. I'm not too worried about that. I already feel a little bit of FOMO because my roommates will like be having people over and like I'm not there anymore, like over the last week even. But once I'm there, I feel like I'm literally gonna be in France. So keeping in touch with friends from Chapman and from home, honestly, it was exactly how I expected it, so not much to say there. I did have a different phone number, but I did just like FaceTime people and text people anyway, or just use Snapchat or WhatsApp. Some people seem to go out every day, like in the middle of the week, like on a Wednesday during their study abroad, and I don't know how people do that, because like don't you have class the next morning? I don't know if I'm gonna become one of those people, but I really like my sleep. I don't like to be like sleep deprived during class. But I do hope to go out and experience the nightlife in the south of France, because it's just part of the culture, and I feel like I can meet actual French people there. I want to meet actual French people somehow, because the school is an international school, it's not French people. That's a way that I can actually meet like real French people if possible, if I can put myself out there and be social. Hopefully I can make some acquaintances at least. French acquaintances, honestly didn't make many of those, but I did go out. Cannes, the nightlife, honestly isn't as much as you think it is, especially the first few months that we were there. It was just so dead. There's this club called Bisou Bisou that's in the Palais de Festival, where they have the film festival. The music is just all like EDM and techno, so some people really like that. Some people were like, how do I dance to this? It took us, I think, a while to find actual good places to go out. The last month, I would say, was the best, just in general, in Cannes. Like, I wouldn't say it's the best of the whole study abroad experience, but in terms of like actually spending time in Cannes, the last month was probably the best, because tourist season had started, so the city just started to fill up, especially during the festival. Obviously it was packed, almost too packed. And at first you're sort of annoyed with the tourists, because you're like, hey, like, I'm basically a local now, and like, what are you doing in my city? But then it's like, you realize that they actually bring so much life to the city, because without it, it's just a lot of old people. There's just not a lot of young people in Cannes, it felt like, which is why the nightlife just didn't feel that lively. But when tourists started coming, I would say it was a lot more lively. A lot of people in our program like to go to this Irish pub called Morrison's every Wednesday night for karaoke. I went a few times. I didn't think it was all that, but some people really loved it. There were some people that would go out every night, especially for the first couple of weeks, like every night during even weekdays. And some people would go out on any given weekday throughout the whole program. I'm more of a girl who likes to save it for the weekend, because I like to be able to sleep in the next day. I don't want to have to get up and go to class. Some people would just skip class, but I also don't really like skipping class either, so that's just me personally. It got a lot better towards the end when there were just more tourists, honestly. I hope that I'm like less socially anxious. I hope that I'm more outgoing when I come back. I hope that I am less afraid of trying new things. I hope that I have new favorite foods, and I'm gonna have new routines, and like I'm gonna be able to be more flexible because I'm such a routine-based person, which is fine. But like I just hope that I can learn to be flexible and adaptable and social and outgoing and like have no fear in putting myself out there and having a new experience because I have nothing to lose. There is nothing to be afraid of. I think that this is such a hard question to like answer because you don't watch yourself change day by day. It's hard to like gauge that within yourself. Like, how have I changed since me 4 months ago? I don't know. I think I do have a different taste for foods. I came back and I was like, Swiss cheese tastes weird. And I used to eat sandwiches with Swiss cheese like and turkey and ham or whatever all the time. And now it tastes weird to me because I'm so used to emmental from France. Or like arugula. I got a taste for arugula now, for pesto now. I miss the gelato. I'm gonna miss the gelato so much. There's literally nowhere in the States that has that good of gelato. Like, it's so sad. Like, the ice cream here just will never measure up, and it's just whatever. Anyway, I don't know if I'm more outgoing. I guess you could say I'm like less afraid to just walk up to someone new and start talking to them because I did that so much. I'm not like that extroverted of a person naturally, and I don't know that I ever will be, but like at the same time I don't think I'm that afraid of talking to people at this point. Although I honestly feel like a lot of that had to do with pageants, but a lot of that probably did have to do with study abroad. I don't know. It's so hard to answer that question. That's like the deepest question that I asked of myself. I will say like I traveled so much, so I have a lot more just like street smart, like not even street smart in the terms of knowing things, but in terms of being able to solve problems. There's always something unexpected that's going to happen when you're traveling, whether you're independent traveling, which I did twice, or whether you're traveling with friends, which I also did a few times. And just being able to like solve those problems together, I think is a good skill that I learned doing study abroad. I hope it's a 10 out of 10. Future Hannah can let me know if it's a 10 out of 10 or not. The bar is high. My expectations are high. Everyone says study abroad is like the best time of your life, and I'm planning on having the best time of my life. And part of that I think is influenced by like coming to Chapman was like such a good 10 out of 10 experience, especially that first semester. But that's coming out of like high school, which is a drag. I'm coming from Chapman to go study abroad, so now it's like a little bit of a different bar. Yeah, it was 10 out of 10. I would recommend. Cannes specifically, I would only go there like A, if you're really interested in learning French, or B, if you really want to do the film festival internship. That was the main reason I think that most people went. But in terms of study abroad in general, 10 out of 10. Finally, to finish this video, asking my future self 4 months from now. Hopefully I film this actually 4 months from now and not wait like forever. But what did I miss? Did I have any crazy experiences, or were there things that I totally didn't expect? Where am I living? Do I have an internship? How was study abroad? Do you know French? Can you like confidently tell people that you're conversational in French? Because right now I can't speak French. And it's weird because I have taken French for years, but I feel very little confidence in my French. I feel a lot more confident after my time in Nice for sure. I can speak French to French people and that's like chill, but in terms of like really just having a regular conversation with a native French person, other than ordering food and stuff, or like conversations that you have with your French teachers in class, I don't know that I can really follow. Like, even watching French TV, I don't know most of what they're saying. That's like part of the goal of this, is to finish the French minor. Did you get into upper intermediate? Were you able to take those French classes? Did you make friends? Was the internship good? Did you network? Future self, 4 months from now, these are my questions for you. What did I miss? Let me know. And that is all. Signing off. I have to go to the airport. So, bye! Okay, yeah, I was so stressed for a while about where I was gonna live next semester and also like what I was gonna do over the summer. I obviously did end up deciding to just do a remote internship and stay here, which was a lot easier than trying to figure out how to live in LA right now. Living next year, I'm living with my friends. Do I know French? That's the other thing that's hard to gauge, because theoretically it must have improved quite a bit. Like, I was in French class so much. I think that my comprehension has gotten a lot better. I mean, I sat in French class for 3 hours every day and I could understand every single thing that she said. And the 4-hour seminars, a lot of that was taught in French too. I could understand every single thing that was said. And I think I've learned a lot more than I realize, but it's still like I'm not fluent. When I watch a movie or TV show in French, I can't understand it that well. But like out on the street, like I can have a full-on conversation with someone in French. So I guess that's an improvement. I do feel like maybe a lot more confident in my French too. Like, I know that I know a lot of French, so that helps. I feel like my reading skills have honestly gone down, but that's probably not true. What's probably true is that my listening skills have actually surpassed my reading skills, which is huge because it used to be just reading and writing was my strong suit. Now I'd say like listening is my strong suit, and then maybe speaking which is crazy because I would have never said that in high school or like the first year of college. I would have said reading and writing has always been my strong suit, even in English. That's interesting, is that like I feel like it's harder for me to read in French now than it is for me to just hear it out loud. Like if I hear it out loud, I can understand it. So that's really interesting, I guess. But yeah, I'm a B2 level now, apparently. So that means whatever that means to you. And I've finished my French minor, although I think that I'm going to miss it, so I might have to take more French classes if I can finesse my way into that. I don't really have space in my schedule for that though, unfortunately, so, but I think I'm gonna miss French. I already miss French, even just in the 5 days of being in the States. Okay, honestly, I didn't really miss much. I would say that one thing that I didn't expect was how much I was able to travel, actually, because I had planned it out all the weekends, and I was like, wait, there aren't actually that many free weekends. I just want to make sure I can go to Barcelona and Amsterdam. Like, that's really what I want to go to, Switzerland, if I get the chance. Okay, so we had Aix-en-Provence, literally like the second weekend I was there. Florence, Barcelona, a couple weeks off, I think, and then Paris, and then Athens with my parents for spring break, Amsterdam right after spring break. Oh, we did the Provence trip. Obviously there were a lot of day trips too, so that was awesome. And then I also went to Strasbourg. So I traveled actually a lot more because I didn't know that I was going to go to Aix-en-Provence or Strasbourg. Like I just thought I would have time for Barcelona and Amsterdam. And then Athens was also just so cool. Yeah, the traveling was a lot, and I feel like I've gotten to see a lot, which is really cool. So in terms of what I missed, I would say like I didn't expect to be able to travel so much, just because of when I looked at the schedule for the semester, I was like, we do a lot of day trips and things with the program for a lot of these weekends. So I was like, I don't know when I'm gonna really get the chance to do a weekend trip other than like a couple weekends that I'd picked out. And also just I didn't plan as far in advance for the weekend trips as I thought I would. Like a lot of it was a bit more spontaneous, although Barcelona and Amsterdam was planned way in advance. Anyway, I have to go to brunch with my friend, so I can't talk more than this, but thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this helps you if you're gonna study abroad. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment. Bye.